let's just lock in, hone in. Episode 84. MIC Podcast, man, community content. You get it all here. And I'm here with an entrepreneur, an owner, someone who just wears many hats in life. You know, she's here, she's there. And I can actually officially announce I got the okay that we are going to be sponsors, one of the sponsors for her fashion show that she's putting together. I have the owner of SVVIAA, Kat Sims, here with us. What's going on, Kat?
Hi, I'm excited to be here. My first podcast.
Oh, ever? So, like, this is like your first
interview,
okay,
first video, anything. So
this is great. No, so like I was even just like kind of prepping for the interview. I was reading just like that whole write-up, you know, on your website that was beautifully written by Nicole Caputo. Like, that was an incredible whole article. Like, it gave the whole gist, you know what I mean? So like, it just like, you know, kind of gave me an idea of like, you know, how I'm sitting down. I'm just reading, I'm like, okay, 400,000, okay, word, yeah, 3 years. I'm like, damn. I'm like, no, she was moving and shaking. So like, I want to give all props to Nicole for that write-up. And then, yeah, you know, just for, you know, for you, for all your accomplishments, it's going to be, you know, dope chopping it up with you.
yes. So yeah, she reached out to me. I ended up having to write something for a class that she was taking.
Okay.
And that's kind of how she ended up having to interview someone who was a business owner, and that's how she ended up reaching out to me.
Yeah.
And I love that. I was like, can I use that on my website?
Yeah, no, that was an incredible, you know, write-up. Again, go check that on the SVIA website, SVVIAA. You know, it's right in that about section for you, but got to scale it back just for anyone, you know, who may have not, you know, read that write-up, or like, you know, who may not be familiar, just want to kind of, you know, just see who Kat Sims is for real, you know what I mean? So I understand that you grew up in Butler, PA.
Yes.
And just from, you know, people I've talked to, just like in passing, like I kind of get a general sense of Butler, you know what I mean? But like, I want to know how that experience was for you, you know, in particular.
Butler is definitely small town vibes. There's like tractors, those kinds of things on the road.
Yeah, right. Try to just be Ubers and shit.
Yeah, you go up to like drive and there's like nothing but trees for like miles. So that's where I'm from.
Right.
The moment I could leave, I did. I didn't even go to high school there, so
Okay.
I was out immediately.
Was that on your own volition, or like did your parents move around?
We didn't move. I stayed in my house in Butler, and then I went to school in Natrona Heights.
Okay.
Not much better. It was like super small and like a small like Catholic school.
Okay.
I graduated with like 50 people.
Okay, yeah.
Like,
I remember reading about that, right.
But I mean, it was fine. I did the job. And
Yeah.
then after that, I knew the whole time that I didn't want to be in a small school. So I just like accepted St. Joe's for what it was. That was where I went, St. Joe's. And then I went to Penn State.
Yeah, shout out to
So,
you.
like,
Shout out to the Lions.
Yeah.
Fellow what on to the
Oh, you like much bigger. Where I belong.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
I was just like kind of lit up. That's exactly how it was for me when I got to Penn State. Like, and I didn't come from like a super, like I came from a small-ish town in Maryland, you know, but I mean, I graduated with 500 people in my class alone, you know what I mean? So like, that's, you know, significantly bigger. But I mean, again, even when I got to Penn State, I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, the games have begun. Yeah, it's like lighting the Olympic fucking torch. Like, yeah, okay, now we play here, you know what I mean? So like, I definitely feel that. And just even going, you know, to high school, like, you know, a town over, like how much of that was your parents' decision, like, versus like, I'm just gonna go. Like, I kind of get a sense of like where I'm feeling, I'm just gonna go.
Yeah, it was kind of like both. My mom was like, I went to Catholic high school. Like, you could try it.
Yeah.
And I was the oldest child, so I was like the tester.
Yeah, for sure.
So I went to Catholic school, and then none of my other 3 siblings did.
Wow.
So, you know, I just didn't like love it. I was like, no, everyone else can just stay where they're at. Like, it's not worth it to like do the whole like change and whatever. But yeah, I was the oldest, so I've always been like the tester child.
Yeah.
So
Do you feel like just, you know, kind of even going to a Catholic school, just kind of like even solidified the resolve from like when I get older and like when I'm able to, I'm literally just gonna do my own thing, just because from what I hear, again, like Catholic school is just a very constrictive, like strict environment. Like,
So I would say that kind of watching my dad, own his own business was what encouraged me to want to have my own kind of thing. I just like saw him be able to, have control over when he leaves work, if he needs to go and like pick us up for something, or if he needs to call off, like he's the boss, he can make those decisions. If he needs to leave and go take us to soccer or whatever. So kind of just seeing the freedom that he was able to have, is why I got into everything.
Yeah, not for sure. Like, what type of business does he?
It's so weird. He owns a cemetery.
Oh, damn. Okay. Well, shit.
Yeah,
We're seeing the bodies.
I know. Yeah, he
That's wild. Yeah, like how do you even get in? Like, so like, does he like own the land that it's on?
I don't really know like all the logistics.
Yeah,
I know that his dad like started it and he like passed it on.
That's interesting. Yeah, I've never heard anyone. I mean, well, like it would make sense because like it's got to be not like it's got to be regulated somehow. You know what I mean? But like, I would never think the thing like someone like owns a cemetery like that. You know what I mean? Which
That's
is
my
pretty,
dad.
not word. Fox the Undertaker and shit. That's crazy.
If it works, it works. No, someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
He doesn't mind it.
So yeah, no. So just like even with your pops, just like kind of like inspiring you to like even be like an entrepreneur. Like was like when you developed that skill, like was that in high school or like when you got to college, you're like, all right, like let me find a way to make like which degree can take me to that level to like even have that as an outlet.
No, it's kind of always been in the background of me just like wanting to own my own thing, but I've
Okay.
never really known what that thing was going to be.
Copyright.
And then I went to college and I still didn't know what I wanted to be, so I majored in public relations,
Okay.
which is like pretty broad. You can kind of get into like a bunch of different stuff with a communication degree.
Yeah, no.
I know, I
Boy,
just watched you.
boy do I would
Damn.
boy do I know.
I just watched
Shout out to
you
the communications majors.
Now I hear majoring in communication.
Just trying to live
I
life.
didn't know what I wanted. So I majored in public relations and then I got minors in event planning, digital media,
Okay.
and international studies. So like
Okay.
all of the things.
Yeah.
Um
So like was it just like a symptom of like, you're pursuing, these fields and like, all right, let me just kind of make the most of my degree, or like did you know that these were the tools you needed in order to build what you wanted to build?
I was just picking up all of the tools
Okay, yeah.
in hopes that one of them would be helpful.
Got you. Okay. No, I definitely feel it.
I literally graduated college and was like, I still don't know like
Yeah,
where
quite-
I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what jobs did you apply for just even like, after
Advertising, like those kinds of things, marketing,
it's like really broad fields, like, you know what I mean?
super broad.
And then like you need experience to even like, get a foothold, just like even at like the entry level, like in those fields. What were you doing? Just like kind of like, like what job did you, end up landing like, after graduation?
I graduated in 2020 and
Damn.
during COVID, and I graduated in my kitchen on a Zoom call.
That's crazy.
That was my graduation, and I mean, yeah, it was tough graduating in the middle of the pandemic with like no real opportunities. Everything was shut down.
Yeah, fair. So like it was even tough to even like just like find post, graduation.
Yeah.
And that.
I ended up stumbling upon an insurance role with AAA.
Okay, all right.
Worked there for like 5 months, then moved on to the next.
Yeah, no, facts. So was modeling just like, was that always in the atmosphere for you, or like did you want to start your own brand and then just like by way of like the brand that you have, you like, you ventured into modeling?
So I like would not categorize myself as a model.
Okay.
I don't know. Like I like doing photo shoots, really having like fun or taking cute pictures, but as far as like SVIA and everything, I'm usually the one like taking the pictures or like
Yeah.
directing everyone.
Okay.
So if you kind of like go through my whole page and stuff, you'll see that I'm not really featured too much.
Oh, yeah, right.
So I kind of like to be behind the scenes running everything.
It's like you never modeled like, any of your own product before.
I modeled one time, maybe twice, but yeah, not too much.
Okay.
Yeah. I prefer to be running it.
Okay, no, that's interesting. So, like, is Via the first brand that you started
Yes.
ever? Okay, wow. So, like, that's kind of crazy just because, like, with people, like, I've talked to, and again, you started 2 years ago. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Which is wild. And, like, it's just grown exponentially since that,
Yeah.
So, like, I know with just, entrepreneurs starting anything, owning everything, like, what the creation that, like, ends up, like, kind of like taking shape and, like, popping off isn't usually the first idea that's been had. So, like, just kind of like, delve into, like, the initial idea that you had, just, even kind of getting traction, like, just even in the first 2 years that it's been around. Like,
Yeah, I am really thankful. I feel very guided in what I'm doing. I feel like the ideas and things just come to me. And I don't know like where they come from, but they just do. I'm very thankful for that. Um, I started SVIA with no real plan. I just knew that people had always reached out to me about, oh, where do you get your swimsuits? Do you live at the beach? Like all this stuff. And I'm like, no, I'm in Pittsburgh. But people always associated me with swimsuits.
why?
Just I always kind of say that I kind of post like once a year, and it's like I'll take my content from going to the beach once a year and like spread it out, and then like that's like my post. So people have always kind of like associated me with swimsuits. My
Did you
family
do that purposefully, or like was that just like,
just where are you like where are you gonna take the best pictures? Like in the Caribbean or like in Pittsburgh?
yeah.
So it's like I would take pictures in the Caribbean and then they come back to Pittsburgh or like come back to like Penn State or like whatever. And it's like I would have like some pictures like from Penn State, obviously like going out pictures or like if I went to a concert or whatever, and I would post those, but then I would just go on vacation with my family and I would have 25 swimsuit pictures and I'd be like, I'm going to post all these.
Okay.
So it kind of just ended up that like most of my feed was me in swimsuits and like me at the beach and like just, running around going to Florida or like whatever. So it kind of just naturally happened that I became associated with swimsuit. So I took that and ran with it.
Okay. And then just even in that, like, what, like, kind of made you, like, because to even have the vision of, like, people are, like, kind of catching on to, like they're associating, you with swimsuits, like, what, gave you the initial spark to be like, all right, let me take this and, create something out of it. And then, like, how were those initial days like?
I've always wanted to start something. So it was kind of like once I found something to start, I was like, oh, this is it. This is what I start. Kind of just happened.
Damn, okay. And then, like, it just, like, pretty much took off.
Well, yeah. So then I just got to work. I thought, well, how am I going to do this? What do I do? Do I have to get fabric? I was literally like, do I have to sew them? Like, what do I do? Do I have to learn how to sew?
That's what, okay, yeah. And, like, that was, like, kind of like what I was, getting toward, just, like, the initial days of, like, when that idea, and then, like, you just kind of have to sit back and look what's in front of you, like, okay, no, idea's fire. Got that out the way. Now I got to do A, B, C, D. You know what I mean? Make sure all this is okay. Like, all that is good. What were those initial days like for you? And then what were just even some things you may not have thought about? Because, like, you said, like, you were guided. So, like, I also want you to, kind of touch on, like, where'd you find that guidance? And then what were some misconceptions of, like, in the throes of making your idea come to life that, you didn't, think of initially?
I feel as far as guided, I feel like guided from like the universe or just like things just pop into my head that make so much sense. Not they don't even come from anywhere or like I'll just meet the right people at the right time. Everything is just really working out for me in all the best ways possible. Like for example with my AAA position, after I was done working there, I got a job at a restaurant where I was just like a host, just greeting people at the restaurant. And that's actually where I met one of my models for the runway show.
Okay, yeah.
And it's like things just like happen so gracefully. I'm just so thankful that they happen in the way that they do. Because if I had not met that friend at the restaurant, I wouldn't have met Sam.
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't have met you guys and I wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
So I just feel very like guided and led by something, and it's all just really like working out for me and just happening very naturally and organically.
Yeah. And then just as far as getting your, just initially starting your brand, like how did you deal with just everything that you pretty much had to do with moving forward as the owner of your branding company? Like, how did you navigate that emotionally, mentally? Like,
It was a lot of just researching, can I do this? How do I do this? Taking notes, figuring out the logistics of how to make everything happen. I started out like by genuinely having no idea. Do I have to sew these swimsuits? Like the answer is no, I don't know how to sew. So, but that, I was like, is this something I need to learn how to do? Like, I was like, if I have to make this happen, I don't know. I just felt like very like guided to be like the swimsuit girl.
yeah, good thing you ain't bothered sewing shit before you could. You would have had just a room full of needles and damn, like,
I was like, do I buy a sewing machine? Like, yeah. I was just trying to figure out how to make everything happen. I mean, I started out, I didn't know, I made my website myself. I had to figure out how to get manufacturers and register as an LLC and like do everything, just, you know, by myself and just figuring out how to kind of make things happen. And, I did so much so that I felt like I didn't want anyone to tell me, no, this is a bad idea.
right.
Don't do this. So I didn't tell anyone until I did everything. I didn't tell anyone until my website was already made, designed, running. I didn't tell anyone until I already had the swimsuits in my possession. I didn't tell anyone until I basically started SVIA. And yeah, I remember telling my family and being like, "Oh yeah, I'm starting a swimsuit company." And before you say anything, like you can't say no, you can't say this sounds hard, you can't say this sounds like a bad idea, like that sounds risky, that could get I don't want to hear anything. I started it and said the only option you have is to support me because it's already done and I've already spent multiple $1,000s on it, so it's already done.
Yeah.
There's no option.
Were they like support?
Everyone was fine, like,
Bruh.
but I just know that like friends, family, like whoever, like strangers, if you're like, oh, like how do I do this? Like, should I do this?
Just gonna give you every reason not to.
Don't do it because it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be, and I didn't want to hear anything, so I just didn't ask, and then I just did it myself.
I feel you.
And then gave them one option. The option was to support me.
Facts, no, and
That was
like
the option.
I feel that a lot because like I definitely kind of do approach things similarly. You know what I mean? Like I don't really let mostly family, honestly, if I'm being honest, just like, in all, things I'm doing to get into, like, nothing bad. It sounds like all positive, you know what I mean? But it's just, you don't want to hear just any detractions, you know what I mean? Just any reason, oh, what if? And I'm just like, shut your scary ass up. Like, just scary ass, bro. Like, just try something, bro. Just like, bump your head, do something, and, just figure it out, like, along the way. And, like, people are, just really in anything that, like, requires you to branch out on your own. Like they're initially hesitant about that.
Yeah, I would say if anyone out there wants to start something, the best thing you could do is to figure out how to do it and just go for it and just figure out all the steps that you need to do it and watch YouTube videos, Google, like there's so much free information out there. Like there's TikTok now, like because when I started, there wasn't like even TikTok. When I started like researching how to do everything, and like even TikTok has so much information now that's so helpful.
It's very educational.
So there's so much information. Just like figure out exactly what you need to do and just make it happen. Like I would suggest not telling anyone and just diving 100% in.
In hindsight, do you think that like maybe added to just the overall weight of pursuing something like that by yourself, just like kind of keeping it all in?
No, it was kind of fun. It was like a little secret of like you guys have no idea what's coming.
Like
but
you were
it's about to
baptized or
be
something.
so
Yeah, right. Yeah, like you were super good on the look.
Oh, like, and it's like if I ever got into a fight with someone or whatever, I'd be like, whatever. They don't even know. I have this really cool thing coming, so don't even care about this argument that's like dumb or like just whatever. Like I just wouldn't let anything like phase me because I was like, I have something really cool that's about to happen. So I just like I don't know. I just felt really good about everything.
No,
So yeah.
definitely. What were some moments, again, because like I just know how, just like from watching Mike work a lot, like he goes to like a lot of unseen shit, like, like not even I'm, kind of, around for I mean, and it's just that's everyone's journey, So like, what were some moments that tested you really, just like, tested your results to be like, hey, like I want to do this thing.
That tested my, what was the question?
Resolve, just like, just your mentality and like, all right, like what I'm pursuing is like a pretty big thing. Like were there any moments that were just like, fuck, like maybe I don't want this anymore. But I mean, like ultimately, like you end up like coming back to be like, yeah, like this is what I want to do. But like I'm sure like there was some moments I was just like, fuck, like this is quite the path I'm on right now. Like
Yeah, I would definitely say that there have been some moments where it's like, oh my goodness, I am like in way over my head. Like especially right now with like the runway show, I've never put a single event together in my life.
wow,
So like I'm literally going from 0 to 100. Like this is like probably a $10,000 to $15,000 event that I'm just putting on, and I just look at myself and I'm like, who do I think I am? Like going from never having like ran an event to renting out a literal wedding venue. So it's crazy, but I don't know, like it's just I feel very led and guided by just something. Like for example, the original place that I was going to have my event at was a lot more affordable, and it would have been a little bit smaller, and it wouldn't have been as big of a thing. And I literally went to give them their deposit. I said, cool, let's do it. We have the date. Here's the deposit. And they just didn't respond for like 2 weeks.
damn.
And for whatever reason, then the people at the Winter Garden, I had originally talked to them, but the price was just too high. So I thought, okay, I'm not going to do that. Then because the other people had backed out, I ended up just going with them and saying, they were super responsive. This was where I wanted to go originally. I'm just going to full send it. And I just full sent it. And now it's like this big, huge runway show. And I feel like it was the right choice. And it's like, how did I get here? Because I'm just so guided. Like, just whatever happened in the universe that made those people not respond to me is why I'm having such a gigantic event now.
Yeah, facts. And like you said like you gave the deposit to them and like they didn't respond, or like you offered to pay the deposit.
Literally, they said, okay, let's lock the date in. I said,
Okay.
awesome, cool. Send over like the link so I can send the deposit.
Okay, right. And then they just
Nothing.
hit you back. Oh,
For like
yeah.
10 days. And I said, I called them. I left voice messages, sent them emails. And I don't know if they went on vacation or like what happened, but for whatever reason, like the universe did not let me put my deposit down there. And so I shifted, and now I'm here at a much bigger venue, and it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, no, facts. And like, kudos to that.
Yeah.
So here's a, I'm, definitely about to throw out a big stat here. Today's VIA is reaching 400,000 people across the country.
Crazy.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big fucking milestone. You know what I mean? Just like, and again, you started this 2 years ago.
Yes.
2 years ago, and now again, people across the country are, wearing your product, or, they know about SVIA. And what does a milestone like that mean to you at this point?
I just feel so thankful. I on my website I use Wix. I don't know if you're familiar at all.
Yeah. I've like heard of it. I know Wix and Squarespace. That's like the only like website building, platforms I know.
So on Wix, it'll pop up and tell me, oh, you have a visitor from Pittsburgh. Oh, you have a visitor from.
Oh, okay. So like it'll give you like those unique demographics. Okay.
People in like Canada, Peru, Mexico. I'll see people like the other day I saw someone in Alaska. I'm like, who in Alaska?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, facts. Ice for like friggin' ice river plunging or whatever. Like,
oh, you're a visitor in Morocco. I'm like, who's in Morocco?
Again, this VIA vibes on like
crazy. It is crazy. So I'm just very thankful. And it's just shocking to me as well.
Yeah, no.
Oh, I definitely didn't expect it to grow as fast as it has, and to be as successful as it has been. Something about SVIA is that I don't think a lot of people know is that I didn't really have anyone or anything like within the immediate Pittsburgh area when I started SVIA. So being from Butler and then going to school at Penn State, like anyone within the Pittsburgh area was like more than an hour away from me, like any of my friends or anything like that. So I literally started SVIA with like no real like friends or connections to like start with. So I started by just taking photos of the swimsuits just on my phone. I laid out a bed sheet as the background, took pictures of the swimsuits with flat lays, just got some little accessories to make them look cute. And I posted those up, and that was my initial plan, was to take pictures of the swimsuits without anyone wearing them because I didn't really have anyone to model them for me.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
So when you see all of those girls on the page, those are all people I've met since starting. And I don't do any outreach either. So
So you literally bumped into like, or just like met
Yes.
mutuals and like,
Yes.
did you have like over like 200 miles, something like that?
Yes, and I have 200 more in a group chat waiting
That's
for 6 months to a year to be in these photo shoots.
Damn.
It is,
How do you like, yeah, like how do you keep track of like just even meeting all these people? Just like on like, are they all personal friends or just like, or yeah, like, how do you manage just like 200 girls in a group chat? Like,
yeah, it's a lot. I just put everyone into a group chat, and then I message in the group chat and I just say, hey, like, is anyone free on XYZ date? Once they say, yes, I'm free, I add them to that date's photo shoot group chat,
okay,
and I take them out of the big group chat
smart.
so that then I can move on to the other 200 people that want to be in like the photo shoots. And yeah, but then it gets crazy because then they all want to come back and do like more photo shoots, and I'm like, I'm trying to get through all the like other people in the group chat. Like,
Have you thought about bringing anyone else on, or like have you done that already?
I don't really know about that because I don't really know if anyone would want to work for free.
Yeah.
I am currently working for free.
Yeah.
So it would kind of be something like that. I do have an intern right now who
Okay.
helps me. Her name is Jilly. Shout out Jilly. But yeah, she reached out to me, and she'll kind of help me plan like the Instagram feed or do things like that. She's been helping with putting together some of the looks for the runway show.
Okay.
Kind of just whatever I tell her to do, she just helps out where she can, and she's been super helpful. She's come to like photo shoots and done like behind the scenes like video stuff like that.
Is there like a common way like you've met like most of these people, or just like do does each person have like an individual story with you? Pretty much just like, okay,
Every single person from SVIA has reached out to me.
okay, copy.
I
Okay,
have not reached out to anyone.
got you. Okay.
So it like that's where it just like blows my mind, because it's like when you look at how many people have been involved, like, and you think about, wow, like all of these people like reached out to me to be part of this. Like it's just like so overwhelming if I think about it for too long, because it's like, what am I starting here?
Yeah. When
Yeah.
that was even initially happening, like, what were some of like the thoughts? Just like, was that like a moment too, where just like, am I in over my head right now? Because like now, like 60 girls have reached out to me, like to model my stuff, and like I don't even know if I have the fucking infrastructure to, house these women. Like,
Yeah, but you just kind of adapt, and I thought, well, that's good that I have a lot of people that want to be part of it. I guess I need to get some more swimsuits and keep growing.
yeah, no, facts.
I started it with small, and once I started it with like a small number of swimsuits and sold those and saw that it was able to kind of be successful, my whole thing is, as long as I'm not like losing money, I feel like I'm okay.
No, like literally, that's a
Yeah.
good rule of thumb to be, especially in the world of business. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like because again, most businesses, like I'm not sure like what the stat is, but like most businesses within like the first initial years are losing money for the most part.
I want to say it's the first 5 years.
First
Most businesses are not profitable.
Yeah, I couldn't remember the milestone there, but yeah, like for the first 5 years, and in two, you've grown like exponentially. And like I just want to also ask, like, what do you think played a key part in just like you expanding so rapidly, I guess? Like,
Genuinely, just everyone like reaching out and wanting to be part of it. What happened was, initially a couple of girls saw the photos of the swimsuits as the flat lays just on the ground, like, and they looked real cute. I made them look real cute,
yeah,
but they weren't on anyone.
yeah, right.
And a couple of girls reached out Shout out to Tori, Maya, and Taylor. They were my first 3 models. They came over to my house, and we just did a little photo shoot in my house. I just took the pictures on my phone,
Okay.
and once I had those 3 models come over and do a photo shoot, a bunch more people wanted to do photo shoots. Their friends would reach out to me and say, "Hey, I saw that my friend just did a photo shoot for you. Can I come over and do a photo shoot?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." And then they would come do a photo shoot, and then their friends would reach out and be like, "Hey, I saw that they did a photo shoot." And it just exponentially grows because it's like then they post it on their Instagram. Every person who posts those pictures on their Instagram, just think about it. Like people have like 2 to 8,000 followers and they're just posting it.
Yeah.
The it the marketing is free. It's
Fact.
it's crazy. Like and they want to be there. They want to do the photo shoot. They reach out to me to be part of it. And I'm just so thankful that it's happened like this. And I've just like had such an amazing community of and you just think about what type of person reaches out
Yeah.
to a small business and wants to help. The best people. I'm like surrounded by like the most supportive, amazing, like just best group of girls. So I feel very thankful.
Well, I feel like that's like, a testament, one, to like, just the brand itself, and then two, just even, like you said, like what kind of person reaches out. Like I feel like the type of person who, can lock in on whatever, vision you're trying to build, so like, and just even kind of like, you being a little bit touchy on like adding another person. I feel like if you couldn't, if you can trust, this potential person to like, build and like, work for free and like, just kind of do the work with you, like I feel like that vetting process alone, which, and it's going to be a long one, obviously, you know what I mean? Because like you have to vet this person the hell and back, you know what I mean? Because like, you're inviting them into a business, but, I feel like just even the people that reached out just have a sense of ambition. I just like, yo, like I'm willing to, like if modeling is my thing, or like I like this product so much, like I don't care if it's any money attached to it, you know what I mean? Like I'm going to go for the opportunity.
Yeah, and the best thing for me is that there's no requirement.
Yeah.
So it's just so much fun, seeing girls who have never done a photo shoot before or things like that. Going to their first photo shoot and just having the time of their life, and they see the pictures after, and I don't know if it's just like the support from all of the other girls that are there, just hyping them up, bringing out that confidence in them. But when they get their pictures back, I've had people like genuinely cry and be like, "This is the most beautiful I've ever felt. Like, I like love myself on this day. This like brought so much confidence in me. Like this changed like the trajectory of my life." Like people say these things to me, and it's the impacts that I'm like being told that I'm having is like just so special to me, that I'm able to have this impact on their lives as well, because they're doing it for me.
Do you see it though, or like do you just kind of accept people telling you these things?
Do I see?
Yeah, the impact. Just like, like have you seen like, people in these moments just like kind of like see the confidence come out on
Yes.
them? Yeah.
Yes. Watching these girls come in and they're so shy, like some of them.
I
I'm
love
talking
that.
about like the real shy
Yeah,
ones.
every movie where like a shy person breaks out of it, like I'm sold. Like, yeah, facts.
Listen, some of the girls come in and they're like, "I do photo shoots all the time. I know exactly what I'm doing." I love to pair that girl up with the girl who's real shy. And then those two like kind of lean on each other, and like
Yeah,
she
okay.
follows her, she guides her, and then it becomes this amazing relationship. Yeah, so I'll oftentimes put people who have done photo shoots with people who have no experience. I find that tends to be the best group dynamic.
Okay, no, for sure. So I asked, Sam like a similar question, but just you, just as the owner of a, clothing, swimsuit brand, modeling, obviously we've seen just the, the whole transformation and just like, around the stigmas, like, who can model, like, who should model, like, we've seen that change. Like, how does that, influencer just affect the way that you participate as an owner of a swimsuit brand? Yeah.
I think I have like ADHD, 'cause, like, that was like too long of a question. Can you condense it a little?
Yeah, not for sure. I could be a bit long-winded, not for sure, but just how has the way modeling has shaped today, right, affect the way you participate in the industry?
I don't even really know. I don't necessarily like. I try to kind of stay away from like the real modeling world. Like, I almost prefer to work with girls who have never done any photo shoots, or who don't have an agency or anything like that, because I've dealt with things like, oh, my agency doesn't want me working for free, or oh, you know, just whatever certain things come with being like a signed model, being like someone in like the whole thing. And a lot of the times, the best pictures and the best photo shoots honestly just come from, because like what I like the more natural stuff, where someone's kind of just like standing there and like they're like, I don't know how to pose, like, and then they just like laugh and they're like,
Right. 'Cause you don't even
that's the picture,
right.
that was the one.
You don't even like retouch your photos or
No.
anything, right? Yeah, like I saw that. Yeah, you don't even edit
It's
them.
like the authenticity, like whatever their natural form is. And honestly, like a lot of the times whenever I do work with like real models, they know how to pose, they know how to look, they know how to, and it's less authentic. So I prefer the girls with less experience. I think it gives it a more authentic feel.
Yeah, definitely. And just even like, touching on that, was that something that like you pretty much planted your flag on as far as like I'm not editing none of the photos? 'Cause, like when it eventually evolved and like, other people like wearing the swimsuits, was that like just like a hard thing for like I'm not editing any of the photos, or was that like a gradual development?
That was immediate.
Okay.
And again, I feel like that was an idea that came to me, that, it's not right to sell a product if you're changing how the product looks. And it just feels unethical to like reshape someone, or to edit the photo, or whatever, when you're trying to sell something. It's like you're lying. So I feel like showing like the swimsuits on people's real bodies, you know, how they actually are, is what makes the most sense for how I kind of went about that.
I feel that. So in the deep dive, you mentioned just like how vulnerable wearing, swimsuits can be, and like, obviously at face value, like, like that's a very vulnerable thing. But I just wanna and I'm curious to know, like, was that something that, like you felt firsthand? Was it something like, that you maybe saw in other people, your friends? You know what I mean? Like I know that you mentioned that like, some models reach out to you and they don't have any photo shoot experience, so like they're a little bit more reserved. So yeah, I just want to kind of your take on that.
As far as kind of the body dysmorphia kind of stuff.
Well, not necessarily that, but just like what have you just like in that vulnerability and like, like tapping into the fact like you want to make people comfortable. Was that something that like, maybe just, with the photos in the Caribbean, maybe like you felt like, you look good, you know what I mean? But like just even like, putting that out there is like, like it's a very vulnerable state to be in, you know what I mean? So
I feel like I personally have always put forward at least a front of confidence. I don't know if I've necessarily always like actually felt that behind the scenes, but I've always come across as a very confident person, whether that was like the reality or not. I think that every woman struggles with like body image at some point, no matter how they look. You know, you're too thin, you're too whatever.
yeah,
So many comments that you can get.
yeah,
Um, and I actually kind of like went the opposite way, where it was like I was like too like thin. So but it was like people would say that like it was a good thing. So I got really into like exercising and working out, and it was like to the point where I was working out every single day for like 2+ hours a day. And I was really, really tiny, and people like obsessively commented on my body. You look awesome. You look great. And it was like kind of like encouraging me to keep doing it. And I didn't really realize it until I was like out of it, and then like looking back on it, and I'm like, dang, like, commenting on people's bodies, whether it's like a good thing or a bad thing, like you look really good, or your body or your abs or whatever. I just prefer to kind of like no comments about anyone's bodies, because you just don't know like what they're kind of going through. So I just kind of try to avoid making any comments on anyone's bodies at this point in my life.
I saw, I mean, like, I'm sure you've seen that clip of Jonah Hill when he's getting interviewed, and like, dude just should have asked him, like, yeah, so, is it cool not being the fat guy in Hollywood anymore? And Jonah's just like, what the fuck type of question
Yeah.
is that? Like, bro, like, can someone ask literally anything else? Like, besides, like, what he just said, like.
And I know that even like from Drake and Josh, like Josh, he like was always bullied for being like
Yeah,
the like
especially in Hollywood.
big kid, and like he's like, it was hard. I was a kid and I had all these people just being like, not only are you like the big kid, but you also casted me as like the dork. So I don't know. It body comments, it's just hard in general, no matter who it is.
So, in even looking at the logo, I'm like, this, because you knew what you were doing with the logo. I mean, yeah, the logo is crazy. It's fire. It's fire.
That was my moment. That was the moment. Like I knew swimsuit. I knew I wanted to do a business, but I was like, but what is it? Like, what is the it? And I literally, when I came up with that, I was like, oh no. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I said, let me check. Let me just make sure, because someone definitely had.
Right, someone has to,
Someone
right?
has the word swim already. No one in all of existence has thought of the word swim except for me. Cool. It's mine now. So thank you guys for not thinking of it.
Yeah.
Now it's mine.
Facts.
I own the word swim spelled with the V's and the A's.
Yeah. And like, did you write that out? Was not like
I literally have the original sticky note.
That's so like you wrote the A's without the lines in them?
Yeah.
Damn. No, that's hard. Respect. That's crazy.
But
That's
like,
crazy.
when I say I feel so guided, where does that come from?
Yeah, fact.
I am so guided.
Wow.
Came to me.
Yeah.
Came to me.
How far along the process? Like, did you already like, let's just say like have the swimsuits and like all that already established, or was that like one like the first steps in like even building that?
I was in the research process.
Okay, copy. Oh.
And I'm not gonna like go 100% for something unless I feel like I have like like what is the plan here? And I felt like I had a good plan, but it wasn't like perfect.
Yes.
And yeah, so once I had the word SVIA, I was like, no, that's it. That's it.
Crazy.
That's
like, is there any copyrights on that, trademarks on that? Like,
just me.
Okay. Yeah, no, but like, did you like copyright that trademark? Oh, okay, so like you did all that process.
Mine.
Okay, word. So no, thanks. It should be like I'm just making sure all the bases are covered, because again, that, I mean, it's brilliant. Because like even like Sam and I just like kind of had like a funny moment, just like after we were recording, it's like I said Sevilla, but like I'm not sure if it's swim. I'm just like, and like just like even me, I was just like, is this swim or is it Sevilla? Because like I'm just like like the logo obviously like spelled out swim, but I see the double V's and like so like I'm like, is that supposed to be pronounced, or is it like just like an aesthetic thing? But like I mean, it's both low key. Like
I just let people pronounce it however they want. I've heard people say like, is your brand just called Swim? Is it Salvia?
Salvia? Yeah.
And I'm like, listen, whatever you want to call it, as long as you're calling it. So
What's the official name?
Sevilla.
Sevilla.
Yeah.
Okay, word. All right.
Sevilla Swim.
Yeah. Okay. No. So we'll go with Sevilla.
It's actually so funny because I'm glad that you realized that it was the word swim. I'd say about 50% don't realize that it even says the word swim. And so whenever they find that out after like a year or two of following me, and they're like, oh my God, your logo spells out swim. I'm like, yeah, it makes it even cooler, huh? Right?
Yeah. Now that it hit, I mean, no, like it's like I love shit like that. You know what I mean? So it caught my eye instantly. So I want to ask, because like again, just like that deep dive in like your about section, which again I encourage everyone who may not know about you to go and read that. You're building like the thing around V is just like building a community of people like who are like comfortable and like just ready to be vulnerable at that level to even like model your product. So like how meaningful is the community, like, like that you've built already, and how do you see it expanding?
Yeah, I again just feel so blessed and thankful. You know, I I look at the people that I've met in the past 2 years, and just like looking on my Instagram, looking at, all of the people that have bought my swimsuits, looking at all the people I've had model, looking at all the people that followed my brand. I mean, other than like my like true friends from high school who like don't even live in the city, like pretty much I didn't have anyone here. And so just the fact that everything went the way that it did and just naturally progressed in this way, I just cannot be thankful enough for people for reaching out, for wanting to be part of it, for, seeing something in me and wanting to be part of it, for promoting me, for posting me on their stories, for buying my swimsuits, for telling their friends about me. I, I'm so thankful. Like I'm just so thankful. Every connection that has been built is under 2 years old. So just the fact that I have people who ride so hard for me in less than 2 years, it's just I'm so thankful. You can't be thankful enough.
What's a moment that you've had, top of your head, just, throughout your experience that has just, was a really meaningful to, like really impacted you?
Um, you know, a lot of the comments, the stories that I hear after, just about, hey, like this brand has like changed my perspective on things. Like that, you can't ask for anything more. I'm so thankful that I have that impact on anyone, let alone like multiple people. I yeah, it's crazy. I've had people like who not only do they come to the photo shoots, I pull all these strangers. I pull someone from here, 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 and here. I usually have about 10 to 15 girls at these photo shoots. And it's amazing because after the photo shoots, I'll be on Instagram and I'll just, be on my stories and I'll see two girls like or three girls hanging out and I'm like,
Wait,
I'm gonna introduce y'all. Y'all better have my
how y'all in another drug without me, but y'all link because of me out?
I am like, it's amazing.
Yeah,
Like some
right.
of the girls are in each other's weddings now. Like they're best. Like there's different girls that are like best friends now. It is so special. It is so special. Like not only like the connections that I form with these girls and that they form with me and like everything like that, but like that they form with each other. Like it's so special. I love seeing it. And we all just walk around and we'll be like, "Oh my God, you're a spear girl."
Yeah.
So it's amazing. And some of the girls in my runway show, again, like pretty much none of them knew each other except for Zoe and Sam. They knew each other, and then like maybe like one other like friend group. But yeah, like I just like I will see them now hanging out and I'm like, I love that. Like I love that like they're friends now.
Yeah.
So it just feels very special.
Nah, man. I mean, that's beautiful, and it's like, yo, like you just peep them hanging out, just like, yo, what y'all are at? Y'all made each other because of me at the bar I showed y'all to. I don't know if this, yeah, that's crazy. You know what I mean? But we'll get past that. But I mean, obviously, we would be incredibly remiss. You touched that on it throughout the interview. The runway show. Just kind of briefly go over how that came about, just what it's all about. What people can come to expect.
So the runway show, again, I am so thankful. Last year, I was given a runway show. So people reached out to me again.
Who gave it to you? Like who?
How did these things happen?
Yeah.
I am guided. I cannot say it enough. There is something happening where I'm just here and things are happening for me. And so someone reached out to me, DG Promotions, if you know who that is. And they said, hey, we're having a runway show. It's going to be a foxtail. Do you want to be the headliner? Yeah.
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 I got it opening. I could fuck with y'all a little bit. Like
100%. So that's how that happened. They reached out to me. They said, cool, here's what you got to do. Be here this time. Get some girls together and have them. And we did. And we had a runway show. And that's where the idea of the runway show came from. I didn't even think to have a runway show. It was given to me. So
How, like, just what part did you play in just like the setup after you accepted that offer? Like, was it pretty much just all planned out?
they paid for everything. They planned everything.
Yeah.
Very thankful.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. Huge contrast to this one that like
This is 100% me. Yes, this is my first time really having and planning a whole event. And again, it was originally supposed to be somewhere else. I'm not gonna name them because honestly, I don't even want to give them any promotion.
Yeah.
But
sorry, y'all.
very,
Yeah.
very unprofessional in how they kind of went about everything, which is fine because things that are meant to be are gonna be.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was clearly meant to be at Winter Garden. And I'm so excited. Winter Garden fits the vibe of SVIA, just like very upscale, elegant.
Is that where everyone is like pretty much like taking like the promotional photos for like is it like the white background spot and everything? Is that where it's happening or is that
Also, the promotion.
Yeah, just cause like I mean like cause like from like the way like you're describing it, like is that like where like the photos that like I've seen like just recently posted, is that where it is? On the SVIA page.
So like all the models.
Yeah.
So we did a photo shoot separately at a studio.
Copy. Okay, so like that's not where the runway show is gonna be. Okay, gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I can show you a picture of it. It's really pretty. But it's like super natural lighting. It's gigantic. It's 8,000 square feet.
Damn. Okay.
It's really big.
Word.
I know, and I feel like a crazy person for having this event, but I'm so thankful. There's going to be like over 200 people there. And we have, I want to say like 7 or 8 hairstylists, 7 or 8 makeup artists.
Damn.
We have at least 5 photographers, a videographer. We have a DJ. There's going to be free snacks.
Oh, love that. Yeah, no, I'm there. Aside from the sponsorship, I'm there with the snacks. Like, fuck that.
And yeah, there's going to be a bar so people can get, you know, drinks and those kinds of things. There's going to be a giveaway basket table, raffle baskets, so you can put little tickets in to win different prizes. I've had so many people donate different baskets. We have one that's like a spiritual tarot crystal basket, which is so fun. And then one of them is like an $100 gift card and like shampoos to go get your hair done. I have one of them that is a spray tan basket. I had someone like hand make these like glasses that are like they say like empowered women empower women, and like people just really going out of their way to like help make the event. Like the girl that's doing that doesn't even live in Pennsylvania.
Wow.
So I can't be thankful enough
Yeah, no.
for all of like the support and everyone who just comes together and reaches out to help me.
No, shout out to that. Well, I want to thank you, Kat, for taking the time to join us today. The floor is yours as far as like where people can find you. Again, just kind of touch on the runway show, when that's happening, and where. And yeah, the floor is yours. But thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you so much for having me. The runway show is going to be on May 21st at Winter Garden, PPG. It is from 1 to 4, and it's going to be an awesome event. You can find out more information about it at SVIAA.com, SVVIAA, or you can follow me on Instagram at SVIASwim.
Awesome, Kat. Thank you so much for joining us again, and thank you very much for allowing us to sponsor the event. Really appreciate it. MIC Podcast, episode 84. Kat Sims, owner of SVIA, in the building. And we're out. Peace, y'all.